The heavy oak doors of the Forrester Creation CEO office were supposed to be a sanctuary, but instead, they became the tomb of Steffy Forrester's marriage and the birthplace of a scandal that will burn this family to the lingering scent of scotch. The irreversible crossing of a line, and now, weeks later, the cold, hard reality of two pink lines on a plastic and irreversible turning point has arrived. And the fallout will be Kata's. Oh, wait. Before that happened, actually, we have to go back and talk about Monaco, because that is where this entire night I forgot to mention earlier, but Steffy was so incredibly happy, right? She had this whole beautiful, romantic dream of a church reunion with John Finnegan. She thought she was getting her fairy tale back after all the trauma they had been, and what does she get instead? Sheila's creepy little toes poking out from under a beach towel on the Mediterranean at this point. I'm yelling at my screen. Why would he do that? Why would Finn defend that woman after everything she has done, to which is insane, by the way? Finn actually knew his psychotic birth mother was on that flight. He sat next to her. He let his silence do the lying for him, and Steffy just snapped. I'm dead. I can't breathe. She literally ripped the wedding ring off, threw it at him, and ran away while the church bells tolled in the background like a literal funeral for their the odd act. Not okay. I'm dead. Finn is running around the square screaming her name, and I'm just sitting there thinking, you brought this on yourself, buddy. You literally invited the devil into your honey. So Steffy gets on a private jet, completely alone, not telling a single soul where she is going, and she spends the entire flight just drowning her sorrows in alcohol. She is so shocked. Meanwhile, back in LA, we have Carter Walton. Poor, sweet, beautiful Carter. And don't even get me started on that. His wife, Daphne, just got this devastating premature menopause diagnosis, and she completely spiraled out of control. She decided she couldn't give him the family he desperately wanted, so she packed her bags and fled to Paris. She literally abandoned him because she felt broken. Actually, let me just talk about Daphne's exit for a second, because it was so dramatic. She was packing her bags and crying, and the lighting in the loft was all moody and depressing, and she just kept saying that loving Carter was a mistake because she wasn't meant to be a mother. And Carter is begging her, literally on his knees, pleading with her to stay, offering to figure it out, but she wouldn't budge. She walked out that door and took his heart with, okay, where was I? Right. So Steffy lands in LA and heads straight to the Forrester CEO. It's dark, it's quiet, and she is just trying to swallow the massive, suffocating pain of Finn's betrayal. And who is sitting there in the shadows, also incredibly sad and incredibly Carter Walton. The two of them just collide in this space of mutual. They are both grieving the sudden, violent ends of their marriage. The ambience of that CEO office was so heavy. The moonlight filtering through the blinds, the absolute silence of the Forrester building after Steffy walks in, her makeup probably smudged. Her heart physically aching in her, she goes straight for the liquor cabinet. And Carter is already there. Carter, who has always been the rock for the Forrester family. He officiates their weddings, he handles their legal crises. He is the ultimate good, and seeing him so broken, so defeated, it just breaks her heart even more. They sit on that expensive leather couch, sharing a bottle of scotch, and the trauma bonding begins. They are pouring drinks, they are pouring their hearts out. Steffy is sobbing about Finn. How could he choose her? How could he choose the woman whose shot she is crying? And Carter is looking at her with such deep, profound empathy because he feels abandoned. The emotional vulnerability just bleeds into physical, a touch on the shoulder, a wiped tear, and suddenly the space between them vanishes. At this point, I'm yelling at my screen. I'm literally pacing my living. I'm like, no, you are co-workers. You are family, but they are just so lost in their grief. They crossed the line. They gave in to the warmth and the escape of the moment, and they slept together. On the Forrester property, I was literally holding my head because I knew this was going to ruin it. Honestly, seriously, how did they let wait? Did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, the morning after must have been the most awkward, panic-inducing hangover in the history of the world. You wake up, your head is pounding, and you realize you just slept with your father's. Carter just slept with his boss's daughter, the COO and the co-CEO. They probably scrambled to put their clothes on, avoiding eye contact, promising to never speak of it again. They tried to bury. They really thought they could just sweep this drunken mistake under the rug and pretend it was just a symptom of their mutual diss, but you can't bury a secret like this on a soap. Fast forward a few. Steffy is trying to get. She is trying to run Forrester Creations and ignore the fact that her personal life is in shambles. But then, the symptoms, the sudden, inexplicable waves of nausea, the dizziness. At first, she probably thought it was just Ridge is currently running around the office screaming at Finn, completely unleashing his wrath on his son-in-law for losing Steffy. And let's talk about Ridge for a second, because his reaction is Ridge is fiercely defending his daughter. He is ripping into Finn, telling him that Lee is his true mother, completely cutting Finn off when he tries to defend Sheila. Ridge is acting like the ultimate protector of Steffy's, and Finn is just standing there, desperate, agreeing that Lee is his mom, but stubbornly refusing to dismiss Sheila. The family tension is at an all-time high, and Ridge is putting Steffy on this untouchable pedestal of victimhood. Meanwhile, while the men are fighting over her, Steffy is locked in the executive. She is staring at her reflection in the mirror, looking pale and terrified. She needs to get it together, I swear. She opens her purse with trembling hands and pulls out a pregnancy. She takes the test. The agonizing, the ticking clock, the absolute dread washing over her as she waits for the chemical reaction to tell her if her life is over. And then she looks down. 2 pink lines. I'm screaming again just thinking about 2 solid, undeniable lines. My jaw literally unhinged from my face and hit the Steffy Forrester is pregnant. And the timeline? The timeline is brutal. She hasn't been intimate with Finn since way before the Monaco disaster because they were fighting about Sheila. This baby, without a shadow of a doubt, is Carter Walton's. I'm actually losing my mind over the sheer, catastrophic irony of this entire thing about Carter. Carter's entire marriage to Daphne imploded literally weeks ago because Daphne couldn't give him she fled to Paris so he could go find a woman to start a family. And now he is getting a family. His dream of becoming a father is finally coming true, but it's with Steffy Forrester, the woman who is technically still married to Finn, the daughter of his best friend. The absolute mess of it all is so iconic, but so does Steffy's panic in that bathroom is so palpable. She's looking at this plastic stick and realizing her entire life is about to this is her worst night. She literally just ended things with Finn because she wanted to protect her family from Sheila's toxicity. And now she is bringing a massive, scandalous secret into the world that will shatter her family anyway. She is hyperventilating, trying to figure out how she is going to hide this. How she is going to survive this. How on earth is she going to face Ridge? I'm calling it now. This is going to end bad. Ridge is currently putting Steffy on a pedestal, fighting her battles, hating Finn on her behalf. When Ridge finds out that his precious, victimized daughter actually slept with his best friend, the man he trusts to run his company, Ridge is going to lose his mind. The betrayal he will feel from Carter will be astronomical. Mark my words. Desks will be flipped. Ridge might literally throw Carter out of the building. And what about Carter's career? Steffy is terrified that this secret is going to destroy Carter's position at Forrester Creations. He is the CEO. He is the moral compass of that company. If it comes out that he slept with the boss's daughter while she was emotionally vulnerable and drunk, the board of directors will have a field. His reputation will be in. Steffy knows this, and the guilt is eating her. She doesn't want to ruin the life of a man who has always been so good to Steffy's own reputation is on the line here too. She has worked so hard to build herself up as this strong, independent, untouchable co-CEO. She is the matriarch in training. If the fashion press gets a hold of this, the headlines write themselves. It's a PR nightmare of epic.